Most production schedulers are just spreadsheet dressed up as software. They don't know your changeover cost, they don't know your line speeds, and they definitely don't tell you when a VIP order is about to be late. So here I have built a smart scheduler that takes orders from the ERP database and generate the schedule based on the order priority, line efficiency, and due time. And once the schedule is generated, then on the timeline chart, you will be able to see the orders executed on each line. Before getting into the application, I would like to go through the flow map of how this application is designed. So here we have two databases. One is the ERP database and another is the scheduler. The ERP database contains the ERP orders table, which holds all the customer orders, like which material needs to be produced on which line, what is the start and end time, and when it is due. And if we need to create a new order, we will be generating that order in the ERP orders table. Then here we have the scheduler database, which holds couple of tables. And the first table is the orders table, which holds all the orders coming from the ERP database. So this order table just fetches all the details from the ERP orders table. Then we have the lines table, which holds all the lines and its details. For example, line 1 is a high-speed line, which can process the material at 800 kilograms per hour. The medium line can process at 500 kilograms per hour, and the flex one 350 kilograms per hour. So these are some specifications of each line. Then the other set of tables are for calculation and for assigning the priority to each order. So here we have the weighted algorithm DBs. So the first table that we have is the algorithm weights, which holds all the 4 properties based on which we will be assigning the priority to each order, that on which line it will be executed. So the algorithm weights are based on these 4 options. So due date urgency, short job bonus, line efficiency, and order priority. So based on these 4 features, we will be assigning the priorities to each order. So if I go back to the application, ERP, and here we have this place where I can select the weights to each options. So if I want the algorithm to prioritize the due date urgency, so I will just increase the value. In the same way, if I want line efficiency, like all the calculations that we will be making based on the line efficiency, so I will increase the weight of the line efficiency. And once I do all these changes, I will just click on save. So then what will be happening is, based on these values, we will do the calculation and we will be creating new jobs here. So we will schedule all those orders based on the priority. Coming back to our flow map, here we have the changeover matrix. So let's understand how does it works. For example, if you are producing material A, and after the production of material A, if you want to produce material B, then there will be some time that will be taken by the operator to make sure that line is compatible for the production of material B. So you will change some kind of filters and you do some kind of changes on the line so that it will be ready for the production. So that is the changeover. And if you are producing same kind of material every time on the same line, then it will be much easier and it will take less time as compared to producing 2 different materials one after another. So there will be no penalty when the same product is executed on the line. Here we have all the penalty hours. For example, if film A is a product which is currently produced, and if I need to change it to film B on the same line, then it will take half an hour of penalty, half an hour of time consumption for making the line compatible to produce the film B. Alright, so how the algorithm works. So here we have two different algorithms based on which we assign the priority to the orders. So the first one is a greedy algorithm. So if the job is the shortest, it should be executed first, and the line which is available first, that order will be assigned to that line. That is pretty simple. So if I go back to the application, right now I have just created a schedule, so I will reset this schedule and I will create a new schedule. So here we have the generate schedule based on the greedy algorithm. Here we have the line 1, which will produce film A. This is the quantity of the product needs to be produced. The estimated time we have is 1 hour. The planned start, planned end, and the status is currently planned. So it is not started yet. So this is the whole schedule. Here we have the line 2 and line 3. Now there's another algorithm that we are using, which is the weighted, and this algorithm uses the algorithm weights that we have assigned on the database. And based on these four options, the priority to each order will be assigned. So how it computes? So we have the algorithm weights that we have in our database, and we have a score. So the final score will be based on the due date urgency weight and the urgency score, line efficiency and efficiency score, job duration and job duration score, priority weight and priority score. So what are these scores? So urgency score is calculated based on how urgent are the orders. So urgent orders will score higher, less urgent orders will score less. Line efficiency score. So if I have a bigger job, for example, material A of 2000 kilograms that needs to be produced on line 1. If I go here, so line 1 will be scoring higher on this one. So for bigger material that needs to be produced, I need to choose fast lines with a high speed production rate, because the smaller products can also be produced on smaller lines. So here the line efficiency score will be higher on line 1. Then we have the job duration score. This is similar to the greedy logic, because smaller job will score higher and the bigger jobs will score less here on this parameter. Then priority weight score. So higher priority jobs will score higher and the low priority jobs will score less on this parameter. So based on these four parameters, I will be calculating the final score, and that final score will decide which order will be executed on which line. So what I'm going to do is, for example, right now I have only few orders here, not many. So I will reset this schedule, and now I will try this option, weighted algorithm. So based on weighted algorithm, all the materials are produced on line 1. This is calculated based on the time and all those four parameters that we have seen here. So the line 1 is winning all the time. So once I logged all these orders, then the weighted algorithm will be looking for other lines too, because logged means that these orders are now ready for the production. So if I click log all, it will log all these orders. Now what does it means is, if I again click on generate new schedule, it will not apply to these logged orders. It will be only applied to the new orders. So for now I will just click on unlock all. So now they are in the planned status. And for demonstration purpose, what I will do, I will go for the greedy algorithm. So I will reset the schedule and click on greedy algorithm. Now if I go into the timeline, page, I can see all these orders are now mapped on the timeline chart. And if I select one of it, it will show me this order is ready to be produced on this date. And the duration it will take is 225 minutes, and the percentage of the whole timeline is 15.7%. These two orders are delayed, so it shows they are late. It needs to be started at 15, but the time has already passed, so that's why it is showing late. Now if I go to the supervisor, so the supervisor section allows to control all the orders. For example, if I want to move this order, for example, this order I need to move from line 1 to line 2. What I will do, I will just select this order and I will click on move to line, and where I have to move to line 2. So the supervisor has the authority to move orders from one line to another line. Override order means, for example, if I want to change the planned start time of any one of these orders, I can do that. So let's take an example of this order. If I select this one, if I want to change the planned start time, which is currently scheduled on 15th of March, so I will click on override and I want to schedule at 16 and 16 at 1 a.m. I can enter here the reason. So the start time has been updated, and it will also do the recalculation if required of the times. So here this order has been rescheduled. Now if I want to do an emergency order, if I want to place an order on any one of the line, so I will click on this option. I will select the product. From the drop down, I will enter the quantity in kilograms, 900. On which line I want to execute this order. Let's take line 3 and the reason VIP customer. So I have added an emergency order here on line 3 and the status is locked. Now if I go back to the ERP, I can see there is one order which is in lock state. I can also put other orders just for testing purpose. I have logged these 3 orders, and in the line 2 I will log these 2. Now if I go back to the supervisor, I can see the status of these locked orders. Now what I need to execute these orders, and the execution will be done by the operator. So here we have the operator panel, and the operator can see all these orders that can be executed from each line. So for each line I have one section. So this section is for line 1, line 2 and line 3. So right now no orders are executed on line 1, so I will click on start next job. So now our order has been executed on line 1. So this is the order, quantity, the customer name, started at, and the product code. So once this progress bar is completed, the operator needs to click on complete job, or for example, if order is completed before the due date, so he can click on complete job in order to make it done. Same as I will do for the next 2 lines, start job, and here also. Now the progress bar, 3% of this order has been done. So if I click on complete job, it will finish this job. And if I go into the supervisor table, the orders on the line 2 and line 3 are still in progress. Line 1 is completed, and here we can see the status of this order is done. The other 2 orders are in progress. Let's see on the timeline chart. Here we can see the status of all the orders that we have on the database and the status also.